Hi everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video revolving around my favourite comic character of all time, the Punisher. So let's get into it. Okay, so I've been a Punisher fan for a long time, as long as I read comics. In the sort of late 80s, I started reading Punisher reprint, UK reprint comics, and that got me into the Punisher himself in the American format comics. Now, I jumped onto the Punisher at about issue 25 of the first ongoing run. I think Warzone had already started up and was a little way in, and I hunted down all the back issues before that, all appearances and this sort of thing, and then carried on buying Punisher comics and appearances of his. And I have probably close to everything, maybe not some of the later appearances that we've had more recently, but certainly back before that. But as Punisher comics go, the actual Punisher comics, Warzone, War Journal, whatever it may be, 2099, I do have all of them from beginning up to now, including the silly run that they're doing at the moment, but I'm not really enjoying. But there we go. They do these weird things. So anyway, Punisher's been a big draw for me all the times I've been a comic reader. I like the sort of street level characters because they're more relatable, more grounded, and that's what draws me in. So I've got here 4 CGC graded comics that I wanted to show you, that I wanted to, So I will get the big one out of the way first, which I have shown before a couple of times when it's come along, and that is the Punisher, Punisher's first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 129. Now, this comic here comes from 1974, February of 1974, and like I said, it is the first appearance of this character. A much sought after comic within comic collector circles. This issue here is a 6.5. And what happens is with CGC graded comics is that the comic is taken to a panel. The panel look at this comic and they all decide an overall grading amongst themselves, and they award it a grade based on its condition, and then at that moment of grading it is sealed in one of these tablets, so you know that it hasn't stepped away from that office or studio, whatever it may be, and then got an extra crease or something like that in it. It is protected in this case. Now, like I said, this is a 6.5, and this is for off-white to white pages. And that's the reason why it is a 6.5. But I believe this one's probably goes for about 1,200 to 1,500 quid now here in the UK. Obviously dependent upon whether you can find someone to buy it from you. Although I would never sell it. It's the holy grail of my collection. Now, moving on to another issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. And this is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 202, which is another Punisher appearance issue, as you can see there. You can see sort of when this came out, around the time of Star Trek the Motion Picture, as it is advertised on the back. Now, this here is a 9.4, which is a high, because 10 is like the highest, that's pristine. And again, this is 9.4 for off-white to white pages, and it is a Punisher appearance, like I said. And this was 1980, March of 1980, this issue. Now, the next two I've got are actually signed. Right, so what happens with signed comics, sorry, my throat's a bit croaky at the moment because of hay fever. What happens with signed comics is that these comics are actually signed in front of the people who work for CGC. At the point of signing, they are graded and then they are placed into a tablet. So they witness the signing, so you know that these are genuinely signed. The fact that they're CGC is kind of like one of the highest levels of authenticity you can get for a signature, beyond having a photo or a video taken of the item being signed. Yeah, so anyway, so the first one I have here is issue 10 of the first ongoing Punisher series. And as you can see, the banner is different on this one to the standard CGC graded comics, which have a blue banner. The signature series have a yellow. Now, like I said, this is issue 10, guest starring Daredevil, and that's Will Spatacio, who is the artist on the front. Now, Will Spatacio went on to draw for Image Comics. Now, this issue here, as you can see, is signed by the late Stan Lee. Yeah, we lost him a few years ago, didn't we? But yeah, so this is, like I said, issue 10 of the Punisher from August 1988. Yeah. Fabulous cover. Will Spatacio was a very good, or is a very good artist, I should say. And there we have that. That's fantastic. 9.6, so very, very high again on the rating scale. Signed by Stan Lee, and this has got off-white to white pages. Now, the next one, this is the last one I'm going to look at. Again from the Signature series, and this comes from March of 2004. And this is issue 1 of the Max Comics run by Garth Ennis. Now this is the ongoing Max comic run, and as you can see, it has got a signature on the front, and that signature there is actually of the actor Tom Jane, the actor who portrayed the character of the Punisher in the 2004 live-action Punisher film from Lionsgate. Yeah, so again, this is kind of like a holy grail one for me as well, because I loved that film. I really did. I loved Thomas Jane as the Punisher. I thought it was fantastic. So it's nice to have a signed Thomas Jane issue of the Punisher, and issue 1 of the Punisher Max ongoing. Now, cover here is by Tim Bradstreet, who done pretty much all the covers for the Max run. Tim Bradstreet is the artist who drew this sort of canvassy thing that I have got behind me, which was issue 1 of the 12 issue limited series run of Punisher when Garth Ennis first started writing that, before it became a Max title. Now, like I said, this is signed by Thomas Jane on the 20th of the 3rd, 2004 at Wizard World, Los Angeles. It states that at the top. So yeah, very nice, very nice. Very happy to have that one, and that's got white pages, which what colour would it have? But yeah, so 9.6, which is a very high one, and just very, very nice to have in the collection. So there you go. I'm not a big collector of CGC graded comics. As a comic collector, it's not really something that I've gotten into, but they're the only 4 that I've had that I picked up over the course of collecting. Just they came along, and obviously, like I said, the Amazing Spider-Man 129 is like the holy grail. That's the one that I really did want as a Punisher collector, being the very first edition. Obviously, you can't open these up, really, you can't read them, but you know, I have that in multiple reprints. I have that in graphic novel form and in its original release, that comic not signed. I have that comic not signed in my Punisher collection because I have them all. And as a guest appearance, I have that as well. So, you know what I mean? These are just nice as part of the collection. Sort of holy grail items, shall we say. Primarily 2 of them. But anyway, that was just it. Just a quick look at those Punisher CGC graded comics that I have. This is AJ. Thank you for watching. Please consider hitting the subscribe button. Come join the channel. Let me know down below your thoughts on these. If you've got any, what you think, anything Punisher related. I can talk about anything. Anything Punisher related, ask me. Ask me my thoughts on any of it. Whether it's comic, whether it's in film, whether it's in TV, animation, whether in game, whatever you want. I'll gladly talk about it. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care all. Goodbye.